Hello all, this is Rajesh here with my YouTube channel Rajenomics. This is my 12th lecture in the series, and today here I am there to explain the difference between nominal GDP and real GDP. What is GDP has already been explained by me. What is GDP is already explained by me in my lecture 1. Please refer to that. But what is nominal GDP and real GDP? Let me explain that. GDP of a country is nothing but number of units of goods produced into quantity of goods produced. For example, price of the goods produced into the quantity of goods sold. For example, price of a commodity is 1 rupee and 200 units of that is sold. So the GDP will be 1 into 200, 200. Suppose the price of this commodity goes up from 1 to 2, but the quantity remains the same. But what has happened to GDP? 400. So should I be happy that my country's GDP has gone up from 200 to 400? It is not the case, because this rise in GDP is due to rise in price of the commodity and not due to rise in price of the quantity of goods sold. What do I have to find out? This how much of rise in GDP is due to rise in quantity of goods produced rather than rise in price. So when I try to find out how much of GDP is due to rise in price, how much of GDP is due to rise in quantity of goods sold, then what I have found out is real GDP. So I am segregating the impact of rise in prices from the impact of rise in quantity of goods sold, and I have found out real GDP. How is it done? This example will make it clear. Suppose there are two goods produced in the economy, rice and wheat. So the price per unit of rice is given in 2020 and 2021, say, and quantity of rice is given, and price of wheat is given, and quantity of wheat is given. Now in nominal GDP, what I do is I multiply the quantities with the current year prices. Okay, so for example, in 2020, the nominal GDP is price of rice per unit into quantity of rice produced plus price of wheat per unit into quantity of wheat produced per unit. So this is 1 into 100 is 100, 3 into 100 is 600. So 600 into 100 is 700. So 700 is the nominal GDP. Now in 2021, 2 into 200, that is 2 units of 2 per unit, 2 rupees per unit is the price of rice in 2021, and quantity produced is 200 plus 4 into 300, that is 4 is the price per unit of wheat and 300 is the quantity of wheat. So how much is the total nominal GDP? 2 into 100 is 400, 4 into 300 is 1200, 1200 plus 400 is 1600. So if I consider only nominal GDP, then I say GDP of my country increased from 700 in 2020 to 1600 in 2021. But let me see how it is if real GDP is considered. Now, real GDP takes into consideration only the constant prices, that is the base year price. In this case, the base year is 2020. The earliest year is usually taken as the base year. So, how much is it now? 1 in 2020. Again, this is real GDP, 2020. So 1 into 100 plus 3 into 200. This is same as that 700. But now in 2021, you are not going to value the quantities at the current year prices, but at the base year price only. That is the year 2020. So again you will say 1 into the quantity produced is 200 in 2020 and 3 into quantity produced is 300. So how much? 1 into 200 is 200. 300 900. So 900 into 200, 1100. So although the nominal GDP showed that GDP increased from 700 to 1600, but real GDP tells it is 1100. So what did I do here? I segregated the impact of rising GDP. I segregated the impact of rising prices and rising quantity of goods. And rise in quantity of goods is what I want, and that is my real GDP. So the real GDP is, nominal GDP is 1600, but the real GDP is 1100. So nominal GDP is valued at current year prices, whereas real GDP is calculated at constant prices. Thank you. I hope you understood. Keep subscribing. Keep liking my channel.